Hey y'all, welcome back to another installment of Ridiculous Ramblings of a Drunken Buddha. Juan here, coming at you during happy hour for a change, rather than the wee hours of the morning. Something I wanted to talk about and touch on is came up, I think in a week ago now, 2 weeks ago, the whole Lionsgate opportunity, the portal opening and manifesting and all of that, and got me thinking about sort of my relationship with manifesting and the concept of manifesting. And wow, that was loud. I think it was, I don't know, about 15 years ago or so, my first experience with the whole concept of manifesting was being exposed to the law of attraction and The Secret and all of that, and sort of laughing at it and thinking that, oh yeah, this is kind of silly and stupid, and like, how can you just think of something all of a sudden it's there? Like, I'm trying to manifest $1 million right now, and I don't see stacks of cash piling up in front of me, so this is just dumb. And how can we just think of something and all of a sudden it appears? And over the years, toying with it, and I don't want to say perfecting it, but learning it, trying to learn and understand it a little bit better, it's clearly not that. And I know, some of those that are not in the woo and the naysayers are like, it's still super silly and whatever, but I still put it in the category of one of those. It heightens your focus on whatever it is you're looking for. So if your intention is to do a specific thing, and you keep repeating that, or you keep hearing that in your head, it starts to align you to seek out opportunities or avenues that you could pursue that will lead you to, maybe it's just one step at a time, but it'll lead you towards, or at least closer towards, that goal. And I'll use an example and how sometimes specificity is required when you're doing these sorts of things. Again, if you believe in it. But I had for a long time wanted to be in the C-suite with a C-suite type of title before I turned 40. And I would, for probably 3 years, it was one of my affirmations that I would tell myself that I could see myself in that role and being a C-suite officer. And sure enough, when I was, and I gave no qualifications or anything else around it. That was all it was. I was going to be a C-suite officer before 40. And when I was 39, I was part of a company that was struggling, and it was a very small company. And we did a shakeup of the personnel that was there. And again, at 39, I was named by the owners of the company as the CEO. Now, granted, there was only about 12 people that worked for the company, so it wasn't a true C-suite position, but I got the business cards that said Chief Executive Officer, and I held the title for a good 6 months or so before all of the company started unraveling, and we had to dismantle it. So it wasn't necessarily a feather in my cap, but it was a huge learning experience, and the people there were great, and I still have friendships from there regardless. So it wasn't for naught. The point is that when you're setting these goals, sometimes it's good to have a little additional specifics to what you're trying to manifest. Because I will give you the other example is I do try to manifest winning the lottery quite often. I have a lot of plans of what I want to do with the money, and not for me. I'm a simple guy. You can see I live simply. I don't need a lot. I just want my golf paid for, my toddies covered, and my kids taken care of, and my family is all situated, and my partner and I can do whatever it is that we want. We can travel. I don't need anything lavish. I'm digressing. Anyways, to start like a venture capital or a private equity fund or a venture capital that like a little mini Shark Tank to help get businesses that are usually caught off the radar that none of the major capital institutions would actually pay attention to, and fund them and get them going. And maybe they just need a little seed money to get started, and for giving that loan and getting empowering more people to do crazy awesome new things. That's what I want to do with it. And I really have a ton of intentions that I keep putting into this. So I still, casually will buy a ticket here and buy a ticket there. And I set my intention that I'm going to win the lottery. And I kid you not, that I win that lottery more often than you could even count. I have a great track record of winning. And by the next morning, I'll wake up and there's an email that says, your winnings have arrived. And I get super excited and I open up the email and it's $1 or sometimes $2. If I'm really lucky, I might get 10. Yeah. You need to specify, I think, what it is that you're trying to win, because technically, I guess I did win off the lottery. So did I make that happen? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. But here's the rub. When you start getting too specific, okay, you want to win the lottery? How much do you think you're going to win? Do you know exactly what that number is? Would you settle for $2.51 million? Or does it have to be, if you just say, I want to win $2 million, well, what are the chances that you're actually going to get $2 million? So you might be sitting there waiting forever. What is the chances that you're going to get the specific job narrowed down to exactly where you want? I think where this is more common is when I talk to friends that are in the dating space and they're trying to manifest meeting that perfect partner, and the list of criteria is so long, and it's quite possible that they will at some point meet them, but how long will it take to do that? Who knows? But again, who knows? Maybe it's all just smoke and mirrors and gibberish and woo. But I will say, I have been very, very successful in using manifesting or the law of attraction. Either way, I see it as sort of the same thing, but in parking. I watched a video about, or it was, I think, the full documentary of whatever it was on The Secret or whatever. And there was a guy on there who had said that the one thing that he always did to practice manifesting was he would pull into a parking lot, or even on his way to the parking lot, he would imagine seeing himself with a very a premium parking space that someone was just backing out right as he was pulling in, and it would just be the perfect timing every time, and every time he always has good parking. And I will kid you not, that has worked more often than not with me, and I have many witnesses to see that you could say I just happen to be the luckiest guy in the world when it comes to parking, but to have a sort of front row parking spot large enough to fit my big ass truck, and happens on the reg, or on a busy street where you got to do parallel parking, and as I'm just rolling up, the car pulls away. Yeah, that happens a lot. So you're not going to tell me that it doesn't exist, or maybe you want to believe that. That's fine. I think there's something to it, but trying to dial that all in, yeah, that's still beyond me. But I do have fun with it. Just do good things with it. Use it for good intentions and helping other people, and go golfing. I wish I could manifest better weather. I wish I could manifest a golf partner that would go golfing with me more often. I might have to work on that one. Anyways, thanks for joining me. See you later.